Hi guys, this is Abel Anders of Yucatec, and we know you've been asking for this, so today we're going to compare the 12-inch MacBook against the Xiaomi Mi Notebook Air. Let's go! When Xiaomi announced their own ultra-thin laptop last month, it was obvious that they were aiming against the 12-inch Retina MacBook and the 13-inch MacBook Air. In this video, we're going to compare our 12-inch Retina MacBook, which is an early 2015 model, against the new Mi Notebook Air. In terms of design, the Mi Notebook Air took a lot of inspiration from the MacBook series. It's thin and light and made up of solid aluminum chassis. The 12-inch Retina MacBook has been the gold standard for ultra-thin and ultra-light laptops since it was first announced in the early 2015. And it remains to be so until today. The Mi Notebook Air comes pretty close, although it weighs a bit more at 1.07 kilograms versus the 0.92 kilograms of the MacBook. The Mi Notebook Air is actually thinner at 12.9 millimeters compared to the 13.1 millimeter of the MacBook. It actually does not look thinner if you put them side by side, but those rubber feet at the bottom are putting more height to the Mi Notebook Air. In terms of connections and ports, the biggest complaint about the Retina MacBook is the single USB Type-C port. This is the port for charging and connecting external devices. So you will more likely end up buying an adapter if you want to connect it to regular USB devices. On the other hand, the Mi Notebook Air has plenty of them. Aside from the USB Type-C for charging, it has an extra USB 3.0 port and a full-sized HDMI port. Obviously, the Mi Notebook Air scored points over the MacBook here. As for the display, the Retina MacBook comes with a 12-inch IPS panel that has a nice resolution of 2304 by 1440 pixels or 226 ppi pixel density. The Mi Notebook Air, on the other hand, comes with a 12.5-inch IPS panel with a full HD 1920 by 1080 pixel resolution, which isn't bad at all. However, the MacBook's display looks more gorgeous. The Mi Notebook Air has a brighter display, but the MacBook has better contrast in saturation. The display on the MacBook showed a big difference overall. And while we're on the topic, we also wanted to quickly note that the speakers on the MacBook is one of the best in its class, with the speaker grill spread across the front just above the keyboard for best performance. It's even better than the MacBook Air. On the same note, the Mi Notebook Air did very well too, with a dual speaker system at the bottom end which is provided by AKG. Next, we look at the keyboard and trackpad. The keyboard on the MacBook is just okay. Very low travel, but the keys have wider surface area and more spacious. You can get used to the mechanism, but it's nowhere near as good as the typical keyboard of the MacBook Air. The Mi Notebook Air has a better keyboard, almost identical to the ones in the MacBook Air. It is more comfortable, has better travel, and overall response when typing. Both the MacBook and the Mi Notebook Air have backlit keyboards as well. The trackpad on the MacBook is one of the best we've used. It uses Force Touch technology, very spacious and very responsive overall. The one on the Mi Notebook Air is pretty good as well. It has a smooth glass finish, very responsive and very usable. It's actually as good as the one found in the MacBook Air. So we now go to performance. The 2015 MacBook uses a Core M5 dual-core processor with a base clock of 1.1 GHz with a turbo boost of 2.4 GHz. This is paired with an Intel HD Graphics 5300 and 8 GB of RAM. The Mi Notebook, on the other hand, uses the newer Core M3, but with only 0.9 GHz base clock that turbo boosts to 2.2 GHz. It has a newer Intel HD Graphics 515, but only 4 GB of DDR3 system RAM. We expect almost similar raw performance between the two, but the MacBook is better with 8 GB of RAM compared to 4 GB on the Mi Notebook Air. Internal storage is also twice the capacity on the MacBook at 256 GB compared to the 128 GB on the Mi Notebook Air. We then tested both devices for battery performance. The Mi Notebook Air lasted about 9 hours during our video loop playback at 50% brightness, 0% volume, and in airplane mode. With the same settings, the Retina MacBook performed a bit better with a battery life of 10.5 hours. And lastly, we compare the price. The starting price tag of the 12-inch MacBook is $1,299, where you get 8 GB of RAM and 256 GB of storage. The Mi Notebook Air only cost less than half of that at $520. But this is for the Chinese single language license, which is a bummer because you'll have to buy and reinstall an English copy of Windows 10 to be able to use it. Granted that you only get 4GB of RAM and 128GB of storage, it's still a great deal. To wrap this up, the 12-inch MacBook scored points with the design, performance, sound, and the gorgeous Retina display, while the Mi Notebook Air won points in connectivity, design, and of course the price. We think it's a pretty close tie. If you have the money, the MacBook is really good, but if you have a tight budget, the Mi Notebook Air is definitely a great bargain. Well, that's about it for our comparison. We hope we gave you a more in-depth look and a comparison between the two. If you like this video, go hit thumbs up or consider subscribing for more videos like this. Once again, this is Abe and see you in the next video.